There are moments in life when you sense that something far greater is stirring beneath the surface of the ordinary. You can't explain it, but you feel it, a quiet, persistent hum deep inside your being. Your dreams grow so vivid they linger long after you wake, like half-remembered memories from another time. Strange synchronicities start appearing, so precise and frequent that they make you pause and wonder if the universe is speaking directly to you. And there's this unexplainable pull, an attraction you can't put into words, toward symbols you've never studied, toward the ancient sands of Egypt, toward sacred patterns like the flower of life, or mysterious geometric shapes that seem to whisper secrets just out of reach. This is not random. It is not coincidence. It is a call from something older and wiser than the world we see with our eyes. A call from Thoth, the great recorder of the universe, the keeper of hidden knowledge, the guide who has walked with humanity through countless ages. Thoth is stirring now, awakening those who are ready to remember. You see, long before this life, before you took on this body and this name, you chose to be here. You chose to come into this exact moment in time, to play a role in something vast and extraordinary. But like everyone else, you had to forget in order to fully live the human experience. Now, as this cycle of forgetting nears its end, the remembering begins. This is not just a personal awakening. It's not just about you finding your path or your purpose. What is happening now is planetary, even cosmic. We are standing at the convergence point of a 26,000-year cycle, a grand rhythm woven into the fabric of the earth and the stars. As one age dissolves, another begins to rise. The old systems, the old ways of seeing and living, are breaking apart not to punish us, but to clear space for something new, something luminous, something aligned with higher truth. And you are standing in the very heart of this shift. Maybe that sounds overwhelming, and in a way, it is, but it's also beautiful, because this moment, this chaos, this unraveling is exactly what your soul came here to experience. It's why you've been feeling things you can't explain, why your intuition has been louder, why the coincidences feel like messages, why the past few months or years have felt like a series of initiations you didn't consciously sign up for, but somehow knew were coming. Thoth's call is not always dramatic. Sometimes, it's subtle, like a whisper you almost miss. Other times, it shakes you, awake like a sudden thunderclap. But always, it carries the same invitation. Remember who you are. When you hear this call, life starts to look different. You begin to realize that you are not just a passive observer, drifting along at the mercy of fate. You are a living signal, a frequency within the vast network of existence, and what you radiate, your thoughts, your emotions, your very state of being ripples outward, shaping the reality you experience. This is why you've been guided here, because the world outside you is shifting. Yes, but even more importantly, the world inside you is awakening. As you remember, you help others remember. As you step into alignment, you strengthen the web of light that Thoth set into motion eons ago. So if your dreams are vivid, if the signs are everywhere, if you feel both a little lost and strangely found at the same time, trust that feeling. You are not imagining this. You are not going crazy. You are being called. The ending of an age is not just a cosmic event. It is deeply personal. The crumbling you see around you in society, in relationships, even within yourself, is the necessary unraveling of the old story. And in the space that remains, a new reality is waiting to be born. Thoth's invitation is simple, yet profound: to awaken, to embody the truth that has always been within you, and to step forward as a conscious participant in the creation of this new world. You are not just here to witness history, you are here to make it. And when you accept that, everything begins to change. 1. Chakra, the quantum antennas. There's a quiet intelligence running through your body, a network so ancient and profound that most of us never pause to truly notice it. We've been taught to see our bodies as purely physical, as collections of cells, bones, and organs, a biological machine. Nothing more. But the truth is far more mysterious and beautiful than that. Within you are centers of energy known as chakras. Perhaps you've heard the term before, maybe in a yoga class or while reading about spirituality. They are often described as spinning wheels of light, each linked to certain emotions or parts of the body. And while this description is poetic and partially true, it only scratches the surface. Chakras are not just metaphors. They are living, dynamic, quantum antennas. They don't merely sit there like decorations. They receive, transmit, and translate subtle energies, connecting you to something far greater than yourself. Imagine, for a moment, an old radio. If you don't tune it correctly, all you hear is static. But when you find the right frequency, music suddenly pours through the speakers. Songs that were always there, waiting to be heard. Your chakras work in much the same way. Most of the time, we are caught in the static of stress, fear, and distraction. Our inner channels are clogged by old wounds and unprocessed emotions. But when a chakra is awakened and balanced, the static clears. Suddenly, you are tuned to the deep signal of the universe. From this space, information flows, not just intellectual knowledge, but profound inner knowing. It's as if you have access to a vast library that has been inside you all along. Mystics call this the Akashic Records. Scientists might call it the quantum field. But whatever name you give it, the experience is the same: clarity, guidance, and connection to something timeless. When a chakra is fully open, you don't just think about solutions, you feel them arrive. You sense the truth of things before they are spoken. Answers to questions you didn't even know you had emerge in moments of stillness. It's like suddenly remembering something you've always known, but had forgotten. This is why so many spiritual traditions emphasize inner balance and alignment. It's not just about feeling calm or peaceful, though those are beautiful side effects. It's about tuning your personal antennas so you can receive the wisdom and energy that are always flowing around you. When your chakras are blocked, it's like trying to run a powerful current through frayed wires. The signal gets distorted. You might feel disconnected, anxious, or lost, as if you're walking through life without a map. But as you begin to heal, as you release what no longer serves you, these energy centers come back online. And when they do, you experience life differently. Colors seem brighter, intuition becomes sharper. You begin to trust yourself in a way you never have before, because you are no longer relying solely on logic or the opinions of others. You are connected to a deeper source. I've seen people describe this shift with tears in their eyes. They speak of a sudden sense of being held, guided, even loved by something greater than themselves. Not in a religious sense, but in a deeply personal and undeniable way. It's like realizing that you've been carrying around a locked treasure chest your whole life, and now, finally, the key has been placed in your hand. The beauty of this journey is that nothing new is being given to you. You're not reaching outside yourself for answers. You're simply clearing away the noise so that what has always been there can finally be heard. This means you don't have to force anything. You don't have to strain or struggle. The more gently and consistently you nurture these inner antennas, the more naturally they open. It starts with simple practices: breathing deeply, paying attention to your body, noticing where you feel tense or heavy. These are signs of where the energy is blocked. Over time, as you care for yourself in this way, your chakras begin to align, like instruments tuning themselves in harmony. And then, something remarkable happens. You start to live in flow. Life no longer feels like a series of random events you must control. Instead, it becomes a dialogue between you and the universe, between your inner world and the vast field of energy that surrounds you. When you are tuned, you don't just receive wisdom, you become it. You stop chasing answers outside yourself because you realize the answers were always within you, waiting for the right moment to emerge. This is the gift of the chakras, a direct, living connection to the infinite, a reminder that you are not just a body moving through space and time. You are a being of light and frequency, a bridge between the visible and the unseen. And as you awaken these inner antennas, you begin to remember what you truly are, not a small, separate self, struggling to survive, but a vast, luminous consciousness, capable of touching eternity in every single breath. 2. The responsibility of the chosen one. There are moments in life when you pause and wonder, why now? Why here? Why me? It's easy to think that you are just another person passing through, caught up in the randomness of existence. But there comes a time when something deep inside you whispers a different truth, a quiet yet powerful knowing that you are here for a reason. You are not an accident. You didn't simply happen to be born at this particular moment in history, on this particular patch of earth. By coincidence, you came here on purpose, long before this lifetime, before you had a name, a body, or a story. There was a decision. Your soul chose to come into this world at this precise turning point. And though your mind may not remember that choice, your heart does. That is why, no matter how hard you try to ignore it, you feel that tug, that subtle pull, towards something greater than the ordinary routines of life. You are what I call a genetic change agent. This doesn't mean you are better than others or destined for some dramatic hero's journey. It means you carry within you a unique blueprint, a frequency designed to help shift not only your own consciousness, but the collective consciousness of humanity. When you awaken to this truth, it can feel heavy at first. The world around you may seem chaotic and overwhelming: wars, division, fear, endless noise. It's tempting to believe that you are too small to make a difference. But you are not here to fix the entire world through sheer effort. You are here to embody a different way of being, to become a living example of alignment and clarity. Think of it like a lighthouse standing on a rocky shore. The lighthouse does not chase ships or shout at the storm to calm down. It simply shines. Its presence alone brings guidance, helping others find their way through the darkness. When you step into your role, you become that lighthouse. You don't have to save everyone. You simply stand in your truth. And by doing so, you light a path home, not just for yourself, but for others who are ready to see. But here's the challenge: free will. You can feel the call and still turn away from it. You can choose comfort over growth, distraction over purpose. Many people do. And when too many of us deny our role, the collective suffers. The world falls deeper into confusion and imbalance because there are fewer points of light to guide the way. If you refuse the call, the world doesn't stop changing, it simply changes without your influence, often in ways that lead to more chaos. But when you accept the call, even quietly, you become part of a network of awakened beings, anchoring stability during this great transition. Your presence matters more than you may ever fully realize. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to know exactly what to do or how to do it. The first step is simply to say yes, to be willing, open, and receptive. When you say yes, you activate the blueprint within you. Your intuition grows sharper. Synchronicities increase, as if the universe itself is rearranging to support your journey. You begin to notice the right people showing up at just the right time, doors opening where there once were walls. These are signs that you are walking your path, fulfilling the role you came here to play. And please understand this: answering the call doesn't mean your life will be free from struggle. There will still be challenges. There will still be nights when you doubt yourself. But the difference is that now, those struggles have meaning. They are no longer random hardships. They are the training ground for your soul, shaping you into the person you need to become to serve the collective. Sometimes, your mere presence in a room shifts the energy. You may not see it, but others feel it. The way you listen, the way you speak, the way you live your truth, these things ripple outward in ways you cannot measure. This is why your role is so vital. Imagine a dark night sky filled with thousands of tiny stars. One single star might seem small and insignificant, but together, they create constellations that have guided travelers for centuries. You are one of those stars. Alone, your light may seem small, but collectively, it forms a map for humanity's journey home. You didn't come here to be perfect. You didn't come here to fix everything or carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You came here to remember who you are, to embody that remembrance, and to allow your presence to inspire others to do the same. So when you feel the call stirring within you, don't ignore it. Even if you don't understand it yet, even if it scares you, trust it. The world is at a crossroads, and while you may feel like just one person, you are also a crucial piece of the whole. If you shine, others will shine. If you step forward, others will find the courage to step forward too. That is the responsibility of the chosen one, not to save the world, but to become a beacon, a steady point of light in the storm, so that together, we can guide this planet into its next chapter. 3. The role of dreams and symbols. Dreams are often dismissed as random firings of the brain, a chaotic collection of images and emotions stitched together while we sleep. That's what most of us were taught to believe, that they are meaningless, just the mind's way of processing the day. But if you've ever woken from a dream with your heart pounding, or with tears on your face, or with a strange feeling that lingers long into the morning, you know deep down that dreams are so much more than that. Dreams are gateways. They are bridges between the seen and the unseen, between the tangible world you walk through every day and the subtle realms that exist beyond the limits of your senses. While you sleep, your defenses fall away. The walls built by logic, fear, and conditioning grow thin, allowing messages from the deeper layers of reality to slip through. These messages often don't come as words or direct explanations. They come as symbols, shapes, images, or encounters that speak to your soul in a language beyond language. Symbols are like keys, opening doors within you that you didn't even know were locked. For some, these symbols appear as ancient structures, like pyramids bathed in golden light. For others, it might be sacred geometry, a pattern so precise and beautiful that it feels both alien and deeply familiar at the same time. You might dream of civilizations long past temples, star maps, rituals, things you've never studied in this lifetime, yet somehow recognize as if they belong to you. This is not coincidence. These dreams are reminders. They are Thoth whispering to you through the veil, nudging you to remember who you truly are and where you come from. When you encounter a symbol, like a pyramid in your dream, it is not simply a random image. It is a direct transmission of energy and meaning. The pyramid is more than just a structure. It represents alignment, stability, and a meeting point between heaven and earth. It is an ancient technology of the soul, and when it appears in your dreams, it is a sign that your inner structures are being activated, that you are being prepared for a shift in consciousness. Sacred geometry works in the same way. A shape like the flower of life or the spiral of the Fibonacci sequence doesn't just look beautiful, it resonates. It speaks to the deepest parts of you, stirring memories buried in your very DNA. These symbols bypass the thinking mind and go straight to the heart, reminding you of the universal patterns you are a part of. Sometimes these dreams may feel disjointed or confusing at first. You might wake up thinking, "What was that about? It made no sense." But that's because the language of the soul is different from the language of the intellect. Over time, As you sit with these images, you will begin to feel their meaning more than you understand it. This is why it's so important to write your dreams down as soon as you wake, even if they seem small or insignificant. Even if you only remember fragments, capture them. Dreams are like mist. They evaporate quickly if you don't hold on to them. A symbol you record today may not make sense until weeks or months later. When another dream or a real-world event connects the dots, think of dream journaling as a dialogue with your higher self. You are creating a map, and over time, that map reveals the larger picture of your awakening. I've known people who, through years of recording their dreams, began to see incredible patterns emerge. They discovered that the same symbols appeared across decades, weaving a story that traced back through lifetimes. Some even found confirmation in outer events. A place they dreamed of years before turned out to exist in the physical world, exactly as they had seen it. These are not accidents. They are glimpses of the greater web of existence, where everything is connected. When you honor your dreams in this way, you send a signal to the universe. I am ready to listen. And when you listen, the messages grow stronger. Synchronicities begin to appear not only in your sleep but in your waking life. A symbol from a dream might show up on a book cover, a passing conversation, or even in the clouds. These repetitions are gentle confirmations, guiding you forward step by step. The most important thing to remember is this: your dreams are not separate from your spiritual path. They are a vital part of it. They are invitations to remember what your waking mind has forgotten. So tonight, as you close your eyes, approach your dreams with reverence. When a strange image appears, don't dismiss it. When you wake with a feeling you can't explain, hold it tenderly. These are the threads that connect you to the vastness of your soul. Thoth speaks through symbols because symbols go beyond words. They reach into places within you that have been silent for too long, places that are ready to awaken. Every dream is a message. Every symbol is a key. And with each night's journey, you are slowly unlocking the truth of who you are, a truth that was never lost, only waiting to be remembered. 4. The planet and the 26,000-year cycle. There are seasons within a year: spring, summer, autumn, winter, each one flowing naturally into the next. You can feel the subtle shifts, the crispness of fall air, the new life sprouting in spring, the stillness of winter nights. Now, imagine that same rhythm on a much grander scale. Not just a year or even a lifetime, but thousands upon thousands of years. The Earth, too, moves through its own great seasons. Humanity, collectively, rises and falls with these cosmic tides. And right now, we are standing at the end of one of these immense cycles, a 26,000-year cycle known as the precessional equinox. For most of us, this concept is hard to grasp. 26,000 years is longer than any story we've been told, longer than the rise and fall of empires, longer than the history written in our books. It stretches beyond what the mind can easily hold. Yet your soul knows this rhythm. It has felt this turning before, just as surely as a tree feels the coming of spring before a single bud has opened. When a cycle like this comes to an end, everything begins to shift. The old energies, the structures, beliefs, and ways of living that once felt solid start to dissolve. It can feel chaotic, even frightening, as if the ground beneath your feet is crumbling. This is why the world around you may seem to be spinning faster and faster, why so many systems are breaking down, and why, at the same time, you feel something stirring deeply within you. It is not just the external world that is changing. You are part of this shift. Your body, your mind, your spirit, all are being rewired to resonate with a higher frequency. Think of it like a piece of music. The old song is fading out, the last notes echoing in the distance. For a moment, there's a pause, a silence that can feel uncomfortable, even unbearable. Then, slowly, a new melody begins to rise. At first, it's faint and fragile, almost hidden beneath the noise. But as you listen, you begin to sense its beauty. Y potentiel. This is where we are now, suspended between the fading song of the old age and the rising harmony of the new. Thoth spoke of this exact moment thousands of years ago. In the sacred records known as the Halls of Amenti, he described a time when humanity would stand at the threshold between cycles. He foresaw the dismantling of the old world and the birth of a new one. These teachings were not meant to scare us, but to prepare us to remind us that what feels like destruction is actually transformation. You might notice this shift in very personal ways. Maybe you've been feeling unusually restless, as if something is pushing you to grow beyond what once felt comfortable. Perhaps relationships are shifting, careers are dissolving, beliefs you've held for years are suddenly falling away. It can feel disorienting, like being in a house while the walls are being rebuilt around you. This is why so many people are awakening now. The old structures of consciousness are no longer strong enough to hold the new energy pouring into our planet. Those who are sensitive, the dreamers, the healers, the seekers are feeling it first. That's why you may have been experiencing intense dreams, powerful synchronicities, or sudden bursts of clarity. These are signs that you are attuning to the higher frequency of the new cycle. But here's the beautiful truth. Even as the old crumbles, nothing essential is ever lost. Just as winter gives way to spring, the dissolution of one age is simply the preparation for the birth of another. The pain, the confusion, the upheaval, they are all part of the process of renewal. In times like this, it's natural to feel fear. The human mind longs for certainty, for things to stay familiar. But your soul knows better. Your soul remembers that this has happened before, countless times. It knows that endings are not punishments. They are invitations to grow, to rise, to evolve. So when the world feels overwhelming, pause and breathe. Imagine yourself standing on a shoreline, watching a great tide come in. You cannot stop the tide, nor would you want to. All you can do is choose how you will meet it, with resistance and fear, or with trust and surrender. The cycle turning now is far bigger than any single individual, yet each of us has a role to play. As you align with the new frequency, you become a bridge between the worlds, a living reminder that even in chaos, there is order. Even in endings, there is beginning. Thoth's prophecy was never about doom. It was about hope. It was about remembering that we are participants, not victims. In this cosmic dance, the earth is shifting. Yes, but so are you. And as you awaken to this truth, that you begin to see that this great turning is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are part of the new song rising, and if you listen closely, you will hear it faint but growing, calling you to take your place in the harmony of the next age. 5. Activation through visualization. There is a quiet power in the human mind, a power most of us have been taught to overlook. We are told to focus on what we can see, touch, and measure, while our imagination is dismissed as fantasy or daydreaming. But the truth is, your imagination is far more than a playground for idle thoughts. It is a gateway, a bridge between the visible world and the unseen dimensions of your being. Visualization is not about pretending or escaping reality. It is about aligning yourself with a deeper truth, allowing the invisible realms to meet you halfway. When you visualize with intention, you send a signal out into the quantum field, and that field responds not to your words, but to the frequency you generate through your focus and feeling. In this activation, you are invited to close your eyes and journey inward. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Take a deep breath, then another, and let your body begin to soften. Feel the tension melt from your shoulders, your jaw, your hands. With each breath, imagine yourself sinking deeper into the stillness at the core of your being. Now, Bring to mind the image of a golden pyramid. See it shimmering in radiant light, glowing with a warmth that feels both ancient and eternal. This pyramid is not outside of you. It surrounds you, encompassing your body in perfect harmony. Its base is grounded deep into the earth, drawing stability and strength. Its peak rises high into the heavens, connecting you to the infinite. Allow yourself to feel safe and held within this structure, as if you are being protected by a sacred design older than time itself. As you sit within this golden pyramid, imagine threads of light extending outward from its peak. These threads stretch across the globe, traveling far and wide until they connect to a mystical pyramid of keys in Mexico, a place that holds ancient codes of awakening and remembrance. Feel this connection like a current of energy, flowing between you and that distant point, linking you to a lineage of wisdom that transcends space and time. In this vision, you are not alone. You sense a presence approaching, calm, steady, familiar in a way you cannot explain. It is Enoch, the keeper of sacred knowledge, a guide who walks between worlds. As he steps forward, notice what he looks like, how his presence feels. Perhaps he radiates light, or perhaps he feels like an old friend returning after a long journey. Trust whatever form appears to you. Enoch reaches out and offers you a golden key. Hold out your hand and receive it. Feel its weight, its warmth, its profound significance. This key is not just an object, it is a symbol, a living transmission. It represents the unlocking of your multidimensional self, the opening of doors you didn't even know existed within you. As you accept this key, something begins to shift. A vibration moves through your body, gentle yet powerful. Images may arise in your mind, places you have never been, faces you do not know, memories that do not belong to this lifetime. These are fragments from the Akashic Records, the vast, timeless library that holds every experience, every intention, every thread of your soul's journey. You may not understand everything you see or feel, and that is okay. This is not about analysis or logic. It is about receiving. Trust that what comes to you now is exactly what you are ready for. No more and no less. In this state of connection, you might hear a phrase or a single word, or perhaps you simply feel a deep sense of knowing settle in your heart. This is your soul speaking to you, reminding you of the purpose you chose before you came into this life. It is the part of you that has never been lost, never been broken, only waiting to be remembered. Stay with this vision for as long as you feel called. When you are ready, thank Enoch, thank the Golden Pyramid, and thank yourself for showing up with openness and courage. Slowly, let the image fade, bringing your awareness back to your breath, your body, and the present moment. When you open your eyes, you may notice subtle changes, perhaps a calm clarity, a soft glow of insight, or a feeling of quiet alignment with something greater than yourself. The key you received in your visualization is not just in your mind, its energy remains with you, resonating in every cell, guiding you as you move forward. And remember, this is not a one-time event. Each time you return to this practice, the connection deepens. More information will flow from the Akashic Records. More layers of your soul's memory will awaken. Over time, you will come to realize that the wisdom you seek was never truly out there. It has always been within you, waiting for the moment you were ready to open the door. Through visualization, you are not escaping reality. You are shaping it, activating the deepest truths of who you are, and allowing them to guide you home. 6. The awakening of ancient DNA. There is a hidden map within you, not drawn on paper or stored on a computer, but written into the very fabric of your being. It lives in your cells, in the spiraling strands of your DNA. Most of us grow up believing DNA is nothing more than a biological blueprint, a set of instructions passed down from our parents. Science tells us it determines our eye color, our height, maybe even our predisposition to certain illnesses. But there is a deeper truth. Your DNA is more than a physical manual for building your body. It is a cosmic archive, a living library that contains memories, wisdom, and abilities stretching far beyond this single lifetime. Hidden within it are the stories of civilizations long gone, star systems far away, and versions of you that existed before this particular life began. When this ancient DNA begins to awaken, remarkable things happen. Sometimes it begins subtly, a dream that feels too real to be just a dream, a sudden familiarity with a place you've never visited, or a knowing that comes without explanation. Other times, it arrives like a tidal wave, shaking the foundations of who you thought you were. Imagine someone who has never studied Egypt, who has never cracked open a history book about the pyramids or the gods of the Nile, and then, one night, they dream vividly of standing in a grand temple, surrounded by glowing symbols etched into golden walls. When they wake, they begin to sketch these symbols precise, intricate shapes they have no conscious knowledge of. Later, they discover that these drawings perfectly match sacred hieroglyphs used thousands of years ago. How could that be? It isn't coincidence, and it isn't imagination. It is memory, not the kind stored in the brain, but the deeper memory encoded in the soul and written into the DNA. This is what happens when your ancient genetic codes are activated. It's not that you learn something new, it's that you remember what has always been there. This awakening can manifest in many ways. You might suddenly feel drawn to a particular culture, symbol, or piece of music, even though you've never encountered it before. You might begin to speak words or phrases from a language no one has taught you, as though the syllables were lying dormant, waiting to rise. You might develop abilities that seem almost supernatural, a heightened intuition, visions that reveal hidden truths, a sensitivity to energies that others cannot sense. These gifts are not accidents. They are part of your original design. Over thousands of years, as humanity moved through cycles of forgetting and remembering, much of this information was intentionally dormant, locked away until the right moment. That moment is now. As the Earth moves through the end of its 26,000-year cycle, waves of high-frequency energy are flowing into our planet. These energies act like a key turning in a lock, clicking open the ancient codes within you. At first, this process can feel overwhelming. When something long asleep begins to stir, there can be discomfort. Your dreams may become more vivid, your emotions more intense. Old memories, even from past lives, may surface unexpectedly, bringing both wonder and confusion. It is as if your inner world is rearranging itself, preparing to hold a greater truth than before. The important thing to remember is that you do not need to control this awakening. You do not have to force it or rush it. Your DNA knows exactly what to do. Your only task is to create the space for it to unfold through quiet moments of stillness, through trust, through allowing rather than resisting. This activation is not about becoming someone different. It is about becoming more fully yourself, shedding the layers of conditioning and limitation that have kept you small. As these codes awaken, you begin to realize that you are far more than a single lifetime, far more than the name or role you play in this moment. You are a thread in a vast tapestry, connected to ancestors, star beings, and civilizations that shaped the evolution of this planet. Some people fear this kind of awakening because it challenges the familiar. It asks you to let go of the story that says, "I am only what I can see." But as you lean into the process, you discover a deeper freedom. You realize that the skills, wisdom, and strength you've been searching for are not outside of you. They are already within you, waiting to be activated. Consider the way a tree grows in spring. The branches do not strain to produce leaves. The sap does not force itself to rise. It happens naturally, in perfect timing, guided by the invisible intelligence of life itself. Your DNA awakening is like that. It does not need to be forced or understood by the mind. It simply needs to be allowed. As your ancient codes continue to activate, you will begin to experience the world differently. You will notice subtle layers of connection that were always there but previously hidden, the way a glance carries a message, the way a dream carries guidance, the way your own body feels like a compass pointing toward your true path. This is the return of your deepest self, not a new version of you, but the original version, the one that remembers where you came from and why you are here. And as you live from this awakened state, you not only transform your own life, you become a catalyst for the awakening of others. Your DNA is not a relic of the past. It is a living bridge between worlds, and when it awakens, you awaken to the vastness of who you are and to the infinite possibilities waiting to be born through you. 7. The Pyramids of Light and Thoth's Network. There is an ancient architecture beneath the visible world, a design so vast and intricate that most of us can only sense it in fleeting moments, like catching a glimpse of stars between clouds. For thousands of years, mystics, shamans, and seekers have spoken of a sacred grid of energy that encircles our planet. It is invisible to the human eye, yet its influence can be felt in every breath, every heartbeat, every shift of consciousness. At the center of this grid are 12 pyramids of light, established by Thoth long before recorded history. These are not merely physical structures, though echoes of them appear in the great monuments of Egypt, Mexico, and other sacred sites around the world. The true pyramids exist on a higher plane, beyond the reach of time and decay. They are like the beating heart of the planet, pulsating with energy that sustains and harmonizes the entire web of life. Imagine the Earth as a living being. Just as your own body has a heart that pumps life-giving blood to every cell, these pyramids circulate spiritual energy throughout the global consciousness. They keep the rhythms of awakening alive, ensuring that no matter how lost humanity becomes, there is always a pathway back to balance and remembrance. When you connect with one pyramid, you connect with all of them. This is because they are not separate entities but facets of a single system. Much like different branches of a tree, drawing nourishment from the same roots, each pyramid has a unique frequency, a particular gift it offers. Yet, they are all woven together in perfect unity. Thoth, as the master architect of this network, designed it to guide humanity through cycles of rise and fall, light and shadow. Over thousands of years, civilizations have risen to great heights of knowledge and then fallen into forgetfulness. Yet the pyramids remain, holding the codes of wisdom in their crystalline structures, waiting for the moment when we are ready to remember again. When you meditate or visualize connecting to one of these pyramids, you may feel a subtle vibration, a warmth spreading through your body, or a sudden clarity in your mind. These are signs that you are aligning with the grid, that your personal energy is syncing with the greater flow of universal consciousness. It is like tuning an instrument to match the pitch of a vast cosmic symphony. This connection is not limited by distance. Whether you are standing at the base of a physical pyramid or sitting quietly in your own home, the network is accessible to you. The key is intention. When your heart is open and your mind is focused, the signal travels instantly, transcending space and time. Some people experience this as visions, flashes of light, glimpses of ancient temples, or encounters with beings of wisdom. Others simply feel a profound sense of peace, as if they are being cradled by something far larger than themselves. However it appears, the essence is the same. You are not separate. You are part of a living, breathing field of energy that connects every soul, every star, every possibility. This understanding can be deeply healing. So much of our suffering comes from the illusion of separation, the belief that we are alone, isolated, cut off from the divine. But when you connect with Thoth's network, that illusion begins to dissolve. You feel the truth in your bones. You are a node in a vast web, and through you flows the same current that animates galaxies. It's like being a single drop of water, suddenly remembering that it belongs to the ocean. Nothing has changed externally. You are still the drop, but your perspective shifts entirely. You see that your movements, your choices, your very being, ripple outward, touching countless others in ways you cannot see. Thoth's pyramids are also gateways between worlds. Each one serves as a portal, bridging different dimensions and realities. When humanity reaches a certain level of readiness, these gateways open wider, allowing higher frequencies of energy and knowledge to pour into our realm. This is happening now, which is why so many people are experiencing awakenings, visions, and synchronicities at an unprecedented rate. The more you consciously connect with this network, the more stable and coherent it becomes. Imagine a web where some threads are glowing brightly while others are dim. Every time you meditate, heal, or act from love, rather than fear, your thread grows brighter, strengthening the entire structure. This is why personal transformation is never just personal. It reverberates across the collective field. In this way, connecting to the pyramids is both a profound gift and a sacred responsibility. You are not simply receiving energy, you are also contributing to the balance of the whole. So the next time you feel lost or disconnected, close your eyes and imagine yourself standing within a radiant golden pyramid. Feel its light wrapping around you like a protective embrace. Sense the other pyramids in the distance, pulsing softly, and know that with every breath, you are linked to them, to every soul, every star, every dimension of existence. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And when you remember this, even for a moment, you help the entire planet remember too. This is the quiet power of Thoth's network, not to control or command, but to remind us that we are already connected, already whole, already part of something far greater than the small stories we tell ourselves. And in that remembrance, true healing begins for you, for humanity, and for the earth itself. 8. Signs after the activation. When you undergo a spiritual activation, it's as though a door within you swings open, a door that had been sealed for lifetimes. For a while, everything may feel different, as if the world you once knew has shifted slightly on its axis. Colors seem brighter, sounds sharper. Your own breath feels like it carries a deeper rhythm. This is because your entire being, body, mind, and spirit is recalibrating. It's learning to harmonize with a new frequency, much like a musical instrument being retuned. During this delicate time, especially in the first 48 hours, you may notice changes that feel strange or even overwhelming. These are not mistakes or signs that something is wrong. They are simply evidence that the energy you've received is integrating into every level of your being. For many, this begins in dreams. You might experience prophetic dreams, images so vivid and real they linger long after you wake. Sometimes these dreams show clear messages, symbols, people, or places that seem to hold great significance. Other times, they may feel fragmented, like glimpses of a story you've only just begun to read. Even if you don't fully understand them, trust that these visions are important. They are your subconscious processing the shift, and they often carry guidance for your next steps. Writing them down can help you track patterns and insights that only become clear over time. Another sign is the appearance of powerful synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem too precise to be random. You might think of someone you haven't spoken to in years, and they call you that very day. You might notice the same symbol appearing repeatedly on a billboard, in a book, in a passing conversation, as if the universe itself is underlining a message just for you. These synchronicities are like breadcrumbs on your path, subtle reminders that you are being guided and supported. even if you can't see the entire map yet. The more you pay attention, the more they seem to multiply, forming a dialogue between you and the unseen realms. You may also notice heightened intuition. Suddenly, you just know things without being told. You sense when someone is about to speak before they open their mouth, or you feel a surge of clarity about a decision that once felt impossible. At first, this can be startling. The rational mind may try to dismiss these insights as coincidence or imagination. But if you pause and breathe, you'll realize this is the natural intelligence of your awakened self coming online. It's not about predicting the future. It's about being so deeply attuned to the present moment that you can sense its unfolding before it becomes visible. During this period, your physical body may also respond in unusual ways. Some people feel a burst of energy, as if they are buzzing with electricity. Others experience fatigue, needing extra rest. As their systems adjust, you might notice changes in appetite, sleep patterns, or even temperature sensitivity. These are normal reactions to a profound energetic shift. Think of it like updating a computer's operating system. Everything must pause and restart so the new program can run smoothly. The most important thing you can do in these first 48 hours is observe without judgment. Your mind may try to label each sensation as good or bad, success or failure. But the deeper truth is that these experiences are neither. They are simply part of the process. Just as a caterpillar must dissolve into a formless state before it emerges as a butterfly, you, too, are in a stage of transformation that defies ordinary understanding. Try to approach yourself with gentleness. Drink plenty of water. Spend time in nature if you can, letting the earth help you ground this new energy. Breathe deeply and slowly, especially when emotions rise unexpectedly. And most of all, allow yourself to feel without needing to fix or explain anything. Sometimes, people expect spiritual activation to be blissful and serene, but the truth is, awakening can stir up buried fears and old wounds. As your vibration rises, anything that no longer aligns with it must come to the surface to be released. This can feel messy or even painful, but it is ultimately an act of healing, like cleaning a wound so it can finally close. Remember, you are not alone in this. Others have walked this path before you, and countless unseen allies are walking with you now. If you feel overwhelmed, place your hands on your heart and whisper to yourself, I am safe. I am supported. I am becoming who I was always meant to be. Over the coming days and weeks, the intensity will settle. Your system will adapt to the higher frequency, and what once felt strange will begin to feel natural. You will notice a quiet strength rising within you, a clarity that cannot be shaken. The synchronicities will continue, but instead of surprising you, they will feel like a gentle nod from the universe, confirming that you are on the right path. This is the gift of the activation, not just to awaken you for a moment, but to recalibrate your entire life so that you can walk forward with purpose, power, and grace. The first 48 hours are just the beginning, the opening notes of a song that will play through every cell of your being, guiding you toward the truth of who you are. 9. The global network of consciousness. There is an invisible web that stretches across the entire planet, not made of wires or satellites, but of pure awareness. You can't see it with your physical eyes, yet you've felt it countless times. That sudden moment when you think of someone and, almost instantly, they call you, or when a feeling washes over you out of nowhere, and later you discover that a loved one was going through something intense at that exact same moment. These are not accidents. They are signs that you are already part of a vast network of consciousness. As more and more people awaken, this network grows stronger and more coherent. Each awakened soul is like a light turning on in a dark room. At first, a single light doesn't seem to make much difference. But as more lights ignite, the entire space transforms. The darkness fades, not because it was fought or destroyed, but because light simply revealed what was always there. Imagine this network like the nervous system of the Earth. In your body, millions of neurons fire and communicate every second, coordinating your movements, thoughts, and responses. Each neuron is small on its own, but together, they form the intricate intelligence that allows you to function as a whole. Humanity works in much the same way. Each person is like a cell in this planetary body, a neuron in a global brain. When we are asleep, disconnected, unaware, trapped in fear, the network is weak, like a body that has gone numb. But as individuals awaken, they begin to light up, transmitting signals of love, clarity, and higher understanding. And slowly, the collective intelligence of the planet comes online. This awakening doesn't require everyone to believe the same thing or follow the same path. Just as neurons don't all fire at the same time or in the same way, diversity is part of the design. What matters is that each person reconnects to their inner truth and begins to radiate that signal outward. When this happens, communication becomes effortless. You no longer need words to be understood. A simple thought, a feeling, a wave of intention. These are enough to create connection across any distance. Perhaps you've already experienced a glimpse of this. You think of a friend you haven't spoken to in years, and moments later, they reach out, or you feel a sudden urge to check on someone, only to discover they needed you at that exact moment. These experiences are whispers of what is possible when the network is fully activated. As it grows stronger, these moments of telepathic resonance will become not the exception, but the norm. It will feel as natural as breathing. This is why your personal awakening matters so deeply. You might think of it as a private journey, just you, healing your wounds and expanding your awareness. But in truth, every step you take ripples outward. When you shift your frequency from fear to love, you don't just change yourself. You send out a signal that others can feel, even if they don't consciously understand it. It's like tuning a single instrument in an orchestra. As you find harmony, it helps the entire symphony align. There will be times when the world still looks chaotic and divided. You may feel discouraged, wondering if the light is truly making a difference. But remember this, even when only a small percentage of neurons fire in unison, they can trigger a cascade effect, awakening the entire network. The same is true for humanity. A small group of people, fully awake and aligned, can shift the consciousness of millions. Your presence is far more powerful than you've been taught to believe. This global web of consciousness is not some far-off dream of the future. It is already here, forming quietly beneath the noise of the world. Every meditation, every act of kindness, every moment of deep presence strengthens the threads. The more you live from love and clarity, the brighter your part of the network shines. One day, when you think of someone, they will feel it as clearly as if you had spoken aloud. When you send a prayer or a blessing, it will travel instantly to its destination. Distance will no longer be a barrier, because in truth, there was never any distance at all. We are not separate beings moving through empty space. We are one field of awareness, expressing itself through countless forms. And when we remember this, something extraordinary happens. The world begins to heal, not through force, but through connection. So the next time you have a sudden thought of someone you love, pause and notice. The next time a synchronicity takes your breath away, remember that you are part of something vast and intelligent. You are not just a drop of water, you are part of the entire ocean. And every ripple you create, no matter how small, helps guide the whole sea toward awakening. As this network continues to grow, humanity will discover a new way of living, one rooted not in fear or separation, but in shared understanding, a way of being where communication flows effortlessly, and love becomes the natural language of the world. You are already a part of this great web. All that remains is to remember and to shine your light so others can remember too. 10. The special pyramids and their purposes across the vast network of Thoth's design. There are certain points of extraordinary power, sacred hubs, where the energy is more concentrated, more refined. These are the special pyramids, each carrying its own unique vibration and role in the awakening of humanity. Though they may not always be visible in the physical world as grand structures of stone, their energetic presence is undeniable. They exist in the higher realms, holding ancient codes of wisdom and transformation, patiently waiting for us to remember and reconnect. Each pyramid acts like a tuning fork for consciousness, vibrating at a specific frequency that calls forth a particular aspect of our spiritual potential. When you connect to one of these pyramids, even through meditation or visualization, you are aligning yourself with that specific current of energy. It's like stepping into a river of ancient knowledge, allowing it to wash over you and reawaken what has always been within. Pyramid of Wisdom, Canada and the Arctic. The Pyramid of Wisdom rests energetically near the northernmost regions of our planet. In Canada and the Arctic, its purpose is to download universal knowledge, bridging the gap between the finite human mind and the infinite intelligence of the cosmos. When you connect with this pyramid, you may experience sudden flashes of insight, ideas, or solutions arriving fully formed, as if whispered directly into your mind. It is like opening a sacred library, where every question has an answer, not in the form of words alone, but in a deep, embodied understanding. This pyramid is especially powerful for those seeking guidance in their path or clarity about their soul's purpose. It reminds you that true wisdom is never found outside of yourself. It has always been there, waiting for you to quiet the noise and listen. Pyramid of Emotion, Peru. Deep in the energetic heart of South America lies the Pyramid of Emotion. This pyramid's vibration is all about transmutation, the alchemical process of turning heavy, painful emotions into pure light. When you connect to this pyramid, you may feel old grief rising, anger surfacing, or memories you've buried coming into view. At first, this can feel overwhelming, even frightening. But the pyramid's energy supports you as you face these shadows, gently dissolving them and freeing you from their hold. It teaches that emotions are not enemies to be suppressed or fought. They are messengers, carrying valuable information about what needs to be healed. Through the process of transformation, your pain becomes fuel for awakening, like a fire burning away the old to make space for the new. The Atlantean Pyramid. The Atlantean Pyramid holds the codes and memories of Atlantis, a civilization that rose to extraordinary heights before collapsing into imbalance and destruction. This pyramid helps you remember not just the external history of Atlantis, but the personal memories of who you were in that era and what lessons you came here to carry forward. For some, this connection brings visions of advanced technologies, crystalline cities, or profound spiritual practices. For others, it surfaces deep feelings of both awe and sorrow. As the echoes of that great fall return, the Atlantean Pyramid does not offer nostalgia. It offers understanding. It invites you to take the wisdom of that past life and use it to create something better now, avoiding the mistakes of those who came before. The Lemurian Pyramid, older even than Atlantis, is Lemuria, a civilization rooted in harmony with nature and deep spiritual connection. The Lemurian Pyramid holds the vibration of multidimensional travel, reminding us that we are not bound by the limits of linear time or physical space. When you align with this pyramid, you may experience journeys beyond the body, not just dreams, but visions that feel more real than waking life. You might encounter other versions of yourself, alternate realities, or timelines where different choices were made. Its gift is to show you the fluidity of existence, dissolving the illusion of separation. Through it, you come to understand that everything past, present, and future is happening simultaneously, and you have the power to navigate it consciously. Extraterrestrial Pyramid, Antarctica. Far to the south, beneath the icy expanse of Antarctica, is the extraterrestrial pyramid. This structure connects you to your star origins lineages beyond Earth. From places like Sirius, the Pleiades, and Orion. For some, this connection feels like coming home. You may sense memories of other worlds, other forms, other ways of being. You may feel a profound recognition, as if a piece of your soul is finally returning to its source. The purpose of this pyramid is not to make you feel alien, but to remind you that you are vast. Your identity extends far beyond this single planet. When you remember this, you bring a cosmic perspective to Earth's challenges, seeing them not as insurmountable, but as part of a larger evolutionary dance. Tibetan Pyramid. The Tibetan pyramid vibrates with the essence of higher spiritual consciousness, drawing on the profound wisdom of traditions like Buddhism and Hinduism. It is a bridge between the earthly and the divine, supporting deep meditation, expanded awareness, and the realization of your true nature. When you connect with this pyramid, you may feel an immense stillness, as though the entire universe is pausing to breathe with you. It invites you into the state of pure being beyond striving, beyond doing where you are, simply one with all that is. This pyramid teaches that awakening is not about escaping the world, but about fully embodying presence in the midst of it. It offers the reminder that enlightenment is not a destination, but a way of walking through every moment of life. Integrating the pyramid's gifts. Though each pyramid holds its own unique energy, they are not separate from one another. They are like instruments in a grand symphony, each playing its part to create harmony for the planet and all who live upon it. When you connect with one pyramid, you are subtly connecting to them all. The key is not to chase after experiences or collect mystical moments like trophies, but to allow these energies to transform you from within. As you work with these sacred frequencies, you begin to see the world differently. Challenges become opportunities for growth. Relationships become mirrors of deeper truths. And life itself becomes a temple. Every breath, every interaction, every choice infused with the light of remembrance. The pyramids are not just ancient relics of the past. They are living structures of consciousness, here to guide us into the future. Their purpose is not to give you something you lack, but to awaken what has been sleeping inside you all along. Through them, you begin to remember you are not separate, not small, not powerless. You are part of a vast and sacred design, and your awakening is the key to bringing that design to life. 11. Daily practice. Anchoring the new energy. When a profound shift happens within you, it's like stepping into a new world while still living in the old one. You feel different, lighter, clearer, more alive, but the outer environment hasn't quite caught up yet. Old patterns, familiar voix, and past habits will still try to pull you back, like waves tugging at your ankles as you stand at the edge of the ocean. This is why daily practice matters so deeply. It's not about perfection or discipline for its own sake. It's about anchoring the new energy, so it becomes your steady foundation, rather than a fleeting glimpse. Think of a boat on the water. Without an anchor, it will drift aimlessly, carried wherever the current flows. But with an anchor, it can stay grounded even when the tides are strong. Your spiritual practice is that anchor. It holds you steady in the midst of life's chaos. So you don't get swept back into the old patterns you've worked so hard to rise above. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to anchor yourself is through breath. Breathing is something you do every moment, often without thinking. But when you bring awareness to it, it becomes a bridge to your inner world. Slow, deep breath reconnects you to your heart, the true center of your being. As you inhale, imagine drawing in light and clarity. As you exhale, release heaviness and old energy that no longer serves you. Even just a few minutes of conscious breathing can shift your entire state, bringing you back to the present moment. Meditation is another essential tool. You don't need to sit for hours in silence or strive to have a completely blank mind. Instead, imagine surrounding yourself with a cocoon of radiant light. See it gently wrapping around your body, protecting and nourishing you. This light isn't something you have to create. It's already there. Your visualization simply helps you remember it, to feel its presence more vividly. With practice, this light becomes a living reality, a constant companion that stays with you, even when you're moving through the challenges of daily life. Writing down your dreams and signs is equally important. When you wake from sleep, those first few moments are precious. Dreams fade quickly, like mist in the morning sun. If you take the time to write them down, even just fragments or symbols, you create a record of your soul's messages. Over time, you may notice patterns, recurring themes, or guidance that builds like a thread weaving through your life. This journal becomes a mirror, showing you how deeply you are connected to the larger unfolding of the universe. The same is true for signs and synchronicities you encounter throughout your day. A phrase that keeps appearing, a symbol that follows you, a conversation that feels strangely timed. These are not random. They are part of the dialogue between you and the unseen realms. By recording them, you signal to the universe that you are paying attention, and in response, the messages grow clearer and stronger. At first, these practices may seem small, even insignificant. You might wonder if they're really making a difference. But like drops of water carving a canyon over time, their power lies in consistency. Each day you show up for yourself. You strengthen the bridge between your inner and outer worlds. You reinforce the new energy, so it becomes more stable, more natural, more fully integrated into who you are. There will be days when you forget, when old habits creep back in or the noise of life feels overwhelming. That's okay. This journey is not about perfection, it's about returning, again and again, to the simple practices that reconnect you to your center. Even one deep breath can be enough to bring you home. As you continue to anchor this energy, you may notice subtle changes. Moments of anger or fear that once consumed you now pass, like clouds drifting through a clear sky. Situations that used to trigger you lose their power, and slowly, you begin to move through life with more grace, like a river flowing steadily toward the sea, rather than crashing wildly against the rocks. The world around you may not change overnight, but your relationship to it will. By maintaining these practices, you create a sanctuary within yourself, a place no external storm can touch, and from that place, you become a source of calm and clarity for others. Your very presence becomes an anchor, not only for yourself but for those around you, helping them remember their own inner light. Every breath, every meditation, every word you write in your journal is like planting a seed. Some seeds sprout quickly, others take time, but each one contributes to a garden of awakening that will grow in ways you cannot yet imagine. So be gentle with yourself. Tend to your practices with patience and love. Like the boat held steady by its anchor, you will find that no matter how turbulent the waters become, you can remain centered, connected to the truth of who you are and to the higher frequencies that are reshaping our world. Your daily practice is not just a routine. It is a sacred act of remembrance, a way of saying to yourself, I choose to stay awake. I choose to stay connected. I choose to be the light I have always been. 12. Looking back. Activation as a journey, not a destination. There's a common misunderstanding on the spiritual path. The idea that awakening or activation is a single, dramatic moment when everything falls into place forever. Many people imagine that one day they will cross a finish line and finally be done. No more doubt. No more pain. No more questions. But the truth is softer, gentler, and much more mysterious. Activation is not a moment of completion. It is not a final destination you reach and then rest forever in perfect stillness. Instead, it is a journey, one that unfolds layer by layer, like petals of a flower opening slowly to the sun. And just like a flower, there is no rushing this process. Each stage of blooming is sacred. Each unfolding has its own timing and its own beauty. When your awakening first begins, it can feel exhilarating, a rush of clarity, visions, and energy that remind you of something deep and ancient within yourself. It's easy to believe, in those early days, that this is it, that you've arrived. But soon, life will bring you deeper lessons. Moments of challenge will arise, not to punish you, but to help you integrate what you've discovered. Think of it like climbing a mountain. At times, you'll reach a plateau where the view is breathtaking, and you'll feel certain you've reached the top. Then, as the mist clears, you'll see there is another peak ahead, higher, more expansive, waiting to be explored. This isn't failure, it's growth. Each summit prepares you for the next, just as each stage of activation prepares you for deeper layers of yourself. On this journey, patience is everything. The modern world teaches us to crave quick results and instant gratification, but spiritual growth does not move on a human timeline. Your soul unfolds in perfect timing, often in ways your mind cannot understand. There will be seasons of rapid transformation, where everything feels alive and electric. And there will be seasons of stillness, where nothing seems to be happening at all. Both are necessary. Both are part of the journey. It's important to remember that every experience, pleasant or painful, serves a purpose. The moments of bliss show you what's possible, giving you a glimpse of your true nature. The moments of struggle reveal the parts of you that still need healing, the wounds that are ready to be brought into the light. Even confusion and doubt are teachers in disguise, guiding you to ask deeper questions and find truer answers within yourself. There will be times when you stumble, when old patterns resurface, and you wonder if you've lost all progress. In those moments, be gentle with yourself. Growth is rarely linear. It is more like the tides of the ocean, ebbing and flowing, carrying you forward, even when it feels like you're standing still. Trust that beneath the surface, profound changes are taking place, changes you may not see until much later. When you look back and realize how far you've come, one of the most healing things you can do is to look at your journey with compassion, rather than judgment. Instead of asking, "Am I there yet?" try asking, "What is this moment teaching me?" When you shift from striving to curiosity, every step becomes meaningful. Even pain becomes a doorway. Even uncertainty becomes a guide. As you walk this path, there will also be moments of remembrance, times when you glimpse your true self so clearly it takes your breath away. These moments are gifts, but they are not meant to be clung to. They are like stars appearing in the night sky, bright, beautiful, and fleeting. Their purpose is to remind you of what's always present, even when you cannot see it. Think of this journey as a spiral rather than a straight line. You may revisit the same themes, the same lessons, over and over again. But each time you return, you are seeing them from a higher vantage point. What once felt overwhelming will feel softer. What once seemed impossible will now seem natural. This is the quiet proof of your growth. In the end, activation is not about reaching perfection. It's about deepening your relationship with life itself. It's about learning to meet every experience, joy and sorrow, clarity and confusion, with an open heart. The more you surrender to the process, the more you realize that awakening isn't about escaping life, but about being fully present for it. As you look back, you'll see that nothing was wasted. Every twist of the path, every detour, every tear, and every smile was leading you exactly where you needed to be. And even now, you are not finished. You are a living, breathing work of art, constantly evolving, constantly unfolding. So walk gently, honor each step as sacred, and remember, the goal was never to arrive somewhere far away. The goal has always been to awaken to the beauty of this very moment, again and again, for as long as you live, becoming the creator of a new reality. There comes a moment on every spiritual journey when you realize that you are no longer standing on the outside, simply watching the world unfold around you. For so long, you may have felt like an observer, someone looking through a window at life happening out there, powerless to change it. But awakening shows you a deeper truth. You are not just witnessing reality. You are shaping it. You are not separate from the universe. You are the center through which it expresses itself. Every thought you hold, every feeling you nurture, every action you take sends ripples through the field of existence. The world is not something fixed and unchangeable. It is a mirror, reflecting the signals you emit. And as you become more conscious of your signal, you begin to see just how profoundly you can transform what appears before you. This is not about control or force. It's not about bending life to your will or making things happen exactly the way you think they should. Instead, it is about alignment. When you align with your true essence, the part of you that is limitless, luminous, and deeply connected to all things, reality begins to shift in ways that feel almost miraculous. Opportunities appear where there were once obstacles, healing flows where there was once pain, and synchronicities guide you step by step, as if an unseen hand is arranging everything for your highest good. Thoth has given you the tools, the wisdom, and the energy you need to awaken to this role. But no one can walk this path for you. The final step is yours to take. It begins with a simple but powerful choice to claim your role as a creator rather than a victim. To stand fully in your light rather than hiding in the shadows of old patterns and fears. When enough of us make this choice, something extraordinary happens. A collective field of energy begins to form a unified heartbeat of awakened consciousness. This field does not just transform individual lives. It transforms the entire fabric of our shared reality. As more people awaken, the network grows brighter, and a tipping point is reached. At that moment, humanity as a whole takes a leap forward into a new stage of evolution. Perhaps you've felt glimpses of this field already, in moments of deep connection, in waves of peace that seem to come from nowhere, in the sense that you are part of something vast and mysterious. These are hints of what's possible when we come together in awareness. The new reality is not built by governments or systems alone. It is built by hearts and minds united in love, vision, and intention. And here is what I want you to remember most. You are not here simply to awaken and then sit quietly, watching from the sidelines. Your awakening is not an endpoint, it is a beginning. It is the moment when you realize that you are the light you've been seeking. You don't just see the path ahead, you become the path, illuminating the way for others. When you walk through life as living light, you naturally bring healing wherever you go. Your words, your presence, even your silence can create shifts in those around you. You don't have to preach or persuade. By embodying your truth, you become a living reminder to others of their own truth. This is how the new reality is born. Not through grand gestures or external battles, but through countless small acts of alignment, love, and courage. From this moment forward, every choice you make carries incredible power. Each time you choose kindness over anger, clarity over confusion, love over fear, you are literally weaving a new world into being. No act is too small. A smile, a deep breath, a moment of presence. These are the building blocks of the future. The old world may still clamor for your attention. Its noise may try to pull you back into doubt, division, and despair, but you are no longer bound by it. You have seen behind the curtain. You know that reality responds to you, that the light you carry is stronger than any darkness you may encounter. So, as you stand here at this threshold, Take a breath and feel the gravity of this moment. You are not just changing your own life. With every step, you are helping to shift the collective story of humanity. You are part of a wave of transformation that will ripple across generations. Thoth's message is clear. You have everything you need. The wisdom, the energy, the tools, they are already within you. The question now is not whether you are ready, but whether you are willing to claim the truth of who you are. Remember this, you are not here to simply witness the light. You are the light, walking through this world to heal, to guide, to create. From this moment, when you choose to step forward, you align not only with your highest self, but with the evolution of the planet itself. Together, as more of us awaken and shine, we will usher in a new era, an age of unity, compassion, and co-creation, and it all begins with you. Here, now, choosing to be the light that you have always been.